Hello. Welcome to RoboPie. Robotics. Perceptrons. Semantic AI. Conceptual RI.
Okay, this is a continuation of the previous part 1. In this video, I'm just going to show you a few things that might be of interest. We're going to open up the schematic. This is where we left off in the last video. We had placed all these parts on this schematic. Now, each part has its name and its designator with a question mark, and this is part A. So we're going to annotate these. Now, this would be BD1, board number 1, part A, board number 1, part B, board number 1, part C, and so on. Well, we could annotate these individually by editing these. But a better way to do it is to come up here and click on Annotate. Annotate schematic symbols on this little sheet of paper with a pencil on it. You click on that, you get this dialog box. You can read over all these different options. I'm just going to leave them set the way they are for this particular example. And down here I'm going to click on Annotate. Notice it's going to give me the messages here. So Annotate, and let's look at the messages. It annotated Mega 2560 Unit A as BD1A. Unit B, it did Unit F next because of up here, because of the order it's going in. Doesn't really matter because it's annotating them all as BD1. And the part numbers are going to be whatever they were before. And it says annotation complete. So now if we close this out and we go back and look, we can see that they all have the 1 where the question mark used to be. They've all been annotated. So these are all represent BD1 with the different parts. Now that we have them annotated, let's do a design rule check. We click on this little, well, before you click on it, it's a perform electrical rules check. It tells you this is the little ladybug will bring up the rules checker. So we're going to bring that up, and it's empty, and all we want to do is get down here and click on Run to see if we've made any errors. And it will go through and it will give us all these errors. And the errors that we have is that there are no connections to all these pins. If you don't connect a pin to something, that's considered to be an error. That's the only errors we're getting are these no connection errors. So we're good with that. We can close out of here and look at the schematic, and you can see these little green arrows. That's where all your errors are. Everywhere there's a pin, there's a green arrow because there's no connect. Those pins are not connected. Now, if you want to make those green arrows go away, you just click on the ladybug again, and down here in the lower left-hand corner it says Delete Markers. When you click on that, it will take all the errors off the list, and when you close it, you'll notice that all those green arrows are gone. So that was our design check. We have all those errors that nothing's connected, but that's all right. The next thing we would want to do is assign printed circuit board footprints to schematic symbols. Now, we had already done this when we created this symbol, but had we not done it, we would have to assign the footprints here. So let's go and click on this and see what it looks like. It has to load all the libraries. And now in the center window here, you can see the first item is board number 1. That would be all 6 parts. So board number 1 is what we need a footprint for. And the Mega 2560, this is the name of the part on the schematic. And then it has a colon. And this is the address. This includes the directory and the name of the footprint that is associated with this part. Now, had we not already assigned this, we would have to do it here. We would have to look up the library and the part and assign it. But since we'd already done this when we created the schematic symbol, we had already told it to use this footprint. So this is already taken care of. I just wanted to show you that that had to be done. So we can cancel out of here since that was already taken care of. And the next thing on the next button over from the assign footprints is to generate a net list. This will generate a net list of all the connections we've made. Now, right now we haven't made any connections, but let's go ahead and generate the net list anyway. We need to have a net list generated in order to dump this to the printed circuit board editor. So we click on this and just leave everything in the default thing and just click generate net list, and it will give you a default IGS_shield. That's the name we gave to our project. We just use that there, that default, and click save, and it's saved the net list under that name. And so now we're prepared to go over to the printed circuit board. We can actually do that from here. We can click on this button right here, which will take us to the printed circuit board layout editor. And notice when we come over here, there's nothing here. It didn't come over. We have to actually tell it to bring it in. So we go up here to the top and click on this update PCB from schematic. You click on this, and you have these different things up here. You can read them over and see what options you have. But here it tells you changes to be applied. It's going to add a BD1 footprint. It's going to add our shield footprint. And it's giving us 0 warnings and 0 errors. It doesn't care if we didn't connect anything up. The net list has been updated successfully. We click on the button down here in the lower right hand corner, update PCB, and then we close. And we notice now we have the shield that we can place anywhere in our drawing. Now if we press the home key here, it brings just only the parts that are on the board. Notice outside here we get this big sheet. This is the sheet where we're drawing, but if we press the home key, it just brings into view everything that's on this sheet. So here's our shield, and it is selected, and we can deselect it by pressing the escape key. You can reselect it by clicking on it anywhere. You can also deselect it by just clicking off of it. So that's it there. Now we have our our shield dumped over from the schematic. And that's how that works. But notice that there's nothing connected here. And that's because we didn't connect anything in the schematic. So I'm going to delete this because we're going to dump it again. I'm going to delete it from right now. And you don't even need to delete it, but I did anyway. I'm going to save this with the deleted footprint. And I'm going to close out of that printed circuit board editor and come back here, and now we're going to add some wires just to see this work. So we'll be back to add wires in a moment. Okay, we left off here with these have already been annotated and associated with the footprint. We had checked on that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to wire this up in a really crazy way just to show how it works. So this wiring is not going to be electrically sound, but it will show us how things work. Over here on the right hand menu, we click on this place wire icon, the green line, and we bring it over here, and we'll zoom into this wire here. We're going to do D8 on BD1A, click on it, and that'll give us a wire. And come down here, close to, now see we're not lined up. We don't want to be, we want to line up the part with this wire to make things nice and neat. I'm going to double click here. That will end that wire there. Now we can go down and click on this BDF1 part. Now you don't want to click on that over there. You want to click on this part and type an M, press the M key. That will allow you to move it. And you want to put this VIN pin directly over the end of that wire. Right there, the circular part of the VIN pin directly over the wire. Press the mouse button, the left mouse button. And now you see the circle went away. That means that this wire is connected to that pin. Same thing up here, the circle went away. So now we'll go up here to the selection arrow, select item, and what we want to do is just make a selection box to grab most of this wire. Make sure you don't get any parts. You got this wire. Now we're going to do a Control C. Notice as soon as we did Control C, the wire popped right back to where it was. And we're going to do a Control Paste. And now we can move this copied wire over to the next position. Make sure that it's connected directly to both the top and the bottom pins, not overlapping. When you click, both the circles should go away. That shows you that that wire's been connected. We can go over two more, say paste. Now I'm too low. As you can see, I'm overlapping on the bottom and I'm not touching at D10 at the top. So I need to move it up right there. Now it's correct, and I press click, and that puts that wire in place. If I just move the mouse pointer over twice, it should come out perfect. Control paste, it's perfect. All I have to do is click with the left mouse button, move the thing over 2 more points, press paste. This is a nice thing to know if you have to put a bunch of wires in there exactly the same. Paste, and it's perfect. Click OK, move over 2 more. Control V for paste. Make sure it's lined up. Oops, I knocked it off. And left click the mouse button. There, we wired this connector to this connector. Don't worry that this would ruin your Arduino if we actually wired it that way. Just wanted to put some wires in here to show you how it's done. Now, over here, I'm going to wire this connector to this connector. And so, and the way I'm going to do it, I'll just, first of all, we have to go back and choose the wire tool, place wire. And we'll come up here and we'll start on D0. Click on the center of that pin. And notice it's not connected yet. It won't be connected until we connect it to something else. So I'm going to come down about maybe this far, and I'll come over, and now you have to click here and then go down, and you don't have to worry about being lined up because it'll follow you. We want to get down to A15 here, and when click on that little circle on A15, I'll zoom in a little more. You want to be right on the center of that circle. Click there. Notice the circle goes away. That means they're connected. And up at the other end, you'll see the circle went away, and that's connected. Now, we can't really use the copy feature here as well as we'd like to, because if we copied this wire and put it on again, it would only come down here and it would interfere with this wire. In fact, I'll show you what I mean. Let's go up and click the select arrow, select item, and if we make a window that goes from here to here, we selected this whole wire, and if we do a control copy, the wire will jump back to where it was before we copied it. Now if we do a control paste, notice we get the exact same thing back. However, if we try to line it up with the pins, notice in the middle there it crosses over the previous wire. We don't want that. That's going to be a problem. So what we can do is bring it down a little bit and put it in down here. So it's off of that. It's not. In fact, we can even move it up a little. To move it up a little, I'm just going to, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say Control Z to undo that paste. We want to put it on here. So I'm going to say paste and put it just 1 unit down. It's just as close as you can get it to that wire, and should be 2 units away from that wire. Right there. Now, okay, now we have the space there. Now, if we go up here, notice that it's not connected here. We can put the, yeah, we have to have this selection arrow. Make sure you have the selection arrow. Put the mouse cursor right on the end of the wire and type G for grab, and you can pull it up and click it right on there. And then we'll go down here to this one. See, it's not connected either. You want to put the mouse cursor over the end of the wire, press G for grab, and it's going to ask you to clarify. You don't want to move the symbol. You don't want to grab onto the symbol. You want to grab onto the vertical wire. That's what we're working with. So click on vertical wire, and you can pull it up and click, and there, it's connected. So these are little things you're learning as we go along. And now what we want to do, since we have those wires done, we can make sure you have the selection arrow and hold down the mouse key here and over to here and say Control C for copy. And now we're going to need some space. We'll do it over here. Control V for paste. And what we'd like to do now, I think the best thing to do would be to just select these 2 wires. Or maybe we don't even need to select it. Let's undo that. Or just escape. Escape, that'll let go of it. Let's go down here to the bottom and type grab, G for grab. Just move these up a little bit so they're not going to connect anything. Grab, move them up, and go, or maybe move them up quite a bit. Grab it again, do it again. Move these up quite a bit. Grab, move it up. Grab, move it up. The top ones we don't need to worry about because we're coming down. We're going to get closer and closer to this chip and further away from that one. Now you can select this, copy it, and come over here and do paste. And now we can line this up right there. That looks good. Paste. And then Control V for paste it again. Move over here and do it. And Control V for paste again. And move up here and do it one more time. This is just so we don't have to run every wire individually. Okay? And now all we have to do is connect all these to those pins and all these to these pins, and we're done. Let's get rid of this. Over here, select this whole window and press delete. Okay? Now, start working on this bottom one. We just go up. Make sure you have this selection arrow selected. Put the mouse cursor over the end of the wire, press G for grab, bring it down, and click it onto the wire. Next one, G for grab, bring it down, click it on the end of the wire. Grab it, and just do them all. Make sure you get it right on the end of the wire. If you miss and you put it over the wire, see, it's not. It actually did connect it there, but it's messed up. So do it. Control Z to undo that. Grab it, bring it down, right on the end of the wire. It should look like that. Grab it, end of the wire. Okay, that one's connected up. And now we can do same thing here. Grab, up, connect, grab, connect, grab, connect, and so on. There, we wired those up. Now the other thing you can do But the other thing we want to do is connect this one to this one. And the preferred way of doing schematics is to have these wires nice angles like this. But you can also wire things crazy if you just want to go from here. Oh, that didn't take. For some reason, I didn't get that on there. I pressed the escape key. Get it on the connector. And then come down here. It's going to give me... It forces you. You can't make a diagonal. I thought it could make a diagonal line. You can't do a diagonal line. This one's going to be a little crazy because we need to go here. I'm thinking. I think this will be okay. Click there. Click here and then down and click on there. Never mind that we're wiring up bad pins. Now what we can do, we can come here and just go click on this one, come up to here, click right there. I clicked there, so I got that. And come over and just click right there. And then you want to press escape. Not yet. You don't want to press escape. If you press escape, the whole thing goes away. You lose it. Come back, click on the pin. Go up. You have to go up above where that where this wire is. You have to go above that, and then you go over and right to there, and then double click, and that'll put it there. Next one up. Go above that wire. Come over and don't go where that one is. Go behind it. Double click. That'll put it there. And just keep doing this. Next one. Double click right there. Next one, double click right there. That didn't double click. Double click. This can wear out your finger. Click. Double click. I don't think you need to click up here. You don't. Next one over. Click. And from here to there. Double click. Double click. Okay. Now what we can do, take this one. We're going to just go all the way up with all these, so we may as well just do it this way. We're not going to grab. Now we're going to use the wire tool and click on the end of the wire and just go up. This one, it doesn't matter which one connected to. So, oh, okay, never mind. Press escape. I want to start with this one. Click on this one. Come up here and maybe right around in here. Click. Come over to this pin. So you can tell your mouse hair crosshair would be on the pin D15. Click there and click on the circle, and we connected that one. I'm just connecting these up arbitrarily, so it doesn't really matter. If you were actually doing a real schematic, you'd make sure that you're connecting to the correct pins. I just want to show you how this works on the when you dump it over to the PC board. There's a couple things I'd like to show you here. Sorry this is taking so long. One more. Actually, we have two more after this. Go have a cup of coffee and come back, or whatever it is you like to drink. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. You can leave that. I'll just go from that junction. What that did was that created a junction here. But I can put the mouse cursor over that. First of all, you have to do the select. Put the mouse cursor over it and right click. We want to choose the junction, and we're going to delete the junction. So if you accidentally make a junction, you can delete it. Okay, that's not the best way to wire this up, but it'll show up on the, I just wanted to wire it so you can see what happens. Now, if we do a design check on this, it shouldn't give us any errors other than 3. So let's go and try it. Perform electrical rule checks and run it. We got 3 errors. The 3 errors we got are the no connections. And if we, we'll go ahead and leave the markers there, close this out, and here they are. We didn't put connections on these because the connector we connected up to has less connections. So what we want to do now is use this right here. This is called a place no connection flag. You click on that tool and you come back over to these pins that are not connected, and you click here and you click on that one and you click on that one. And that means that those pins are purposefully not being connected. Now if we go up and do our design rule check, we should have no errors. These are the errors left over from last time. Let's run it again. It says it's finished and there are no errors. We don't need to delete the markers because they've already been deleted because this is a new design check. Close it. Now we have a perfect schematic with no errors, even though it's really bad schematic. This wire bothers the heck out of me, but I'm not going to try to fix it. Okay, so now what happens? Let's save this stupid schematic. And what we're going to do next is dump this over to the PC board. Okay, so now we have the schematic is all wired up and we've run our design rules check, and that's good. We don't need to assign footprints because we already did that before. So let's generate a new netlist. Just leave everything the same, generate netlist, use the same name. It doesn't warn you that it's overwriting the old one. And now that we've saved the netlist, we can open the PC board editor. If you had saved it before, you'll still have your shield here, but it doesn't matter one way or the other. If you go up here next to the ladybug and update PCB from schematic, it's going to add that footprint, and that's all it's going to do. And update and close. And now look at what we got. Now I'm going to press the home key. We have the printed circuit board with all our wires being shown. These are called netlists, and these do come in diagonally. It doesn't come in the way we drew them up. I think over here, hide netlist, hide board rat's nest. If you click on this button over on the left side, you can hide the rat's nest, and if you show board's rat nest, it shows all the connections that you're going to be making. And like I say, the rat's nest here is not drawn up in the same way that you drew the schematic. So it doesn't matter how you draw your schematic up. In fact, let's make sure you have the select arrow selected on the right-hand menu. Select this whole board and delete it with the delete key and save it. This saves the schematic. There's nothing in the PC board editor. We'll close out of the PC board editor. I wanted to show you this too. Press the home key. Say we wanted to move this around. We wanted to change our schematic up a little bit. Let's say we wanted to shorten the wires between here. The way we would do that is to put our mouse cursor over one of the connectors and press grab. Now notice when you grab it, you're moving the wires with it. Now you can shorten these right up if you want and click it again. And that's the new place. You can select this whole thing and rotate it, and that looks good. Okay, this would be from this connector over to that connector, and then you can take this part here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to grab it, bring it down here like so. Grab this one, bring it up here like so. And it's going to be hard to untangle these. I think the best way to do this would be to grab these wires, right? Don't grab them. Select them and just move them. Just move them out of the way. Put them over here. That gets them out of the way there. We can select this window, bring this over, put those right smack dab on top of where they were before, and they'll be put back together for you. Grab this one. Make sure, I think I'm going to get that out. I don't want that connector. Escape. We'll put it back where you were. Put it down here. Select this. I think that'll get everything it does. Bring this over here. Put those, make sure those wires are lined up perfectly. Click, and there. We got these separated. Press the home key to get oriented again. Now that we're oriented, we can grab on this one. Grab this one. Ah, I know what we want to do. Escape. We just want to get rid of these wires. Maybe I should zoom in on this so you can see what I'm doing better. I'm just going to take a box and grab all these wires right here. And I'm just going to delete those. Where's the delete? And then I'm going to take this, grab this connector, and move it over here and just connect those wires up. When they're all lined up, press click. That'll snap those back together. Okay. And now we can select this and rotate it. That's good. Put it over here and line it up with the first connector below over here. These two connectors be lined up. You can just grab this connector and move it in to line it up with this other one if you want. Okay. And now do the same thing here. Here we can, oh, this is going to be a mess. Oh, it might be okay. Delete these. Press the delete key. Delete these. And delete these. In fact, I didn't want to undo. Control Z to undo anything you do by mistake. I just wanted to delete these wires here. And now I can take this connector and bring it down here and connect it back up. Now I'm connecting different pins than I had before. And that'll show up on the other thing. One pin didn't connect. We can zoom in on it here. See, this one didn't connect. Grab it, connect it up, and now we have those connected. And we grab this whole thing and we can do a rotate on it, and we can bring it over here and we can line it up here and grab just this one connector here, move it over. That's pretty good. Now you see we have a schematic that would look like what you might find in a book. And you can rearrange these however you want. So now let's go ahead and save this. Save this schematic like that. And we'll come over here to generate netlist. Generate netlist. We're going to generate the netlist. We really didn't need to do this again. It's exactly the same netlist. We didn't change any of the wiring. Well, actually, I think we did change it on these last connectors. But anyway, now let's go back over to the printed circuit board editor and click on this green arrow at the top next to the netlist, and it's going to add that footprint, update, close, and notice we get something that looks almost identical. It is identical, with the exception that some of these wires are going to different pins. But other than that, you see, it doesn't matter. How you lay out your schematic does not matter when it comes to the printed circuit board. Close this out, go back to the schematic, and press the home key. That's our schematic now. So how you lay things out in the schematic has absolutely nothing to how they will be laid out in the printed circuit board. So I just wanted to show that. This is all, you would never want to wire these connectors together this way, but this was just to show you how it's done. One last thing I'll show you, if you don't like the way these things were changed here, you can right click on them and rotate reference. You can put your mouse cursor over it, type an M to move it, BD1. And then you can do the same thing here. Put the mouse cursor over it, press an R, will also rotate it. Put the mouse cursor over it, press an M, you can move it. And you can arrange this stuff however you want. So, I don't know, that was just an idea of how the thing works or can be made to work. Hopefully it was helpful in some way for some people. So that's it for that. We're not going to use any of this stuff. This was just to show you how the netlist is generated and how to check for design rules, how to annotate things, and how to wire things up a little bit. So that's it for this video, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you can help, please support the channel. Thank you.